This is a quick video on how to prepare for reincarnating back to level 1. It's a two-step process currently. You first will want to do an epic TR to get an epic past life. Then you'll want to do a regular heroic or racial TR to get either a heroic or a racial life, and you have to do them in that order. So these commendations I earned up to 30. I earned 2,538 up to 30. And then I earned 204 heart seeds at level 30, which comes out to be 102 quests that I ran at level 30. That sounds about right. So that's a combination of raids and quests, and roughly matches up with the number of videos I have um, at that level. So let me. So to use the heart seeds, you just click on a stack of 42 or more, and this window pops up. Then you drag the heart seeds over to the window, and you have two choices, iconic and epic. Uh, if you're in an iconic character, you have to use this. I currently don't even own any iconic character, iconic uh, races, so I will do this epic Heart of Wood. All right, and so it creates this epic Heart of Wood, which I'm going to use to reincarnate. So I'm just going to combine these. And that's the epic, so pretty easy. You just click on a stack of heart seeds. It gives you this bound to account epic Heart of Wood, and we'll use that later. The heroic, I've earned 31 tokens of the 12, and I've earned 430 fragments. And I think I had one of the comments in the video. People were surprised I was converting fragments to tokens, but I've just always done that. I like to see the whole numbers. So even though I could do the math pretty easily in my head, so I'm just going to combine them over. I put them in my bag. Let me quickly change my bag settings. Um, I'm going to put to do not. I'm going to turn off auto gather temporarily so that the tokens of the 12 go in my inventory, and so it just converts stacks of 100 over to one token of the 12. And so I only need 20 of these for a TR, so I earned 15 extra plus a few extra fragments along the way, and that's a pretty good pace. I'll probably just keep doing that every life. Eventually I'll have well over 100 of these built up before I even start my level 20 questing, and that's good because eventually you'll come to a life where you just want to get right back to level 1 and skip the epic questing. I'm not there yet, so I'm just going to keep trying to get about 35 a life, and the math behind this is I ran every quest on Epic Elite once and repeated a few, and so if you do that, you'll get over 30 tokens of the 12 every life. And now I'm going to trade them for augments. It's a little misleading because you can get more than augments. And I'm just going to stick the hearts in here and type, or the tokens of 12 in there, and then type the word heart in. And it gives you your two choices. So um, the heroic true heart of wood will give you a past life for your class. The heroic true heart of blood will give you a past life for your race. So in general, the race will, in the long run, will be stronger, but you can get some quicker benefits from the classes currently since we don't have anything. So I'm going to grab this past life from Paladin. The past life Paladin gives me plus 10 healing amp, which will come in useful. That'll improve my self healing and the healing I get from my hirelings as well as party members. The past life from Paladin or from human, the first one gives me a skill point. Now, I'm not sure what the skill point is. It's just plus one to a skill. And the second one will give me uh, a stat bonus, and the third one will give me a racial enhancement point, which is very nice. So the second and the third give good bonuses, but the first one just gives a skill point. So Since it's more backloaded, I'm going to go with the True Heart of Wood to give myself a past life Paladin and 10 healing amp. So I just click on trade, and it gives me the True Heart of Wood. So now I have my hearts needed to TR. I need to do them in this order: Epic first, and then Heroic. Uh, but now we have a pretty serious decision to make, and that is if you are free to play as I am, this would be the time to consider doing an upgrade to Premium or VIP. So I'm going to talk about those real briefly. VIP gives you all the content in the game, which currently you own if you use the questing DDO free quests coupon code before August 31st. But it also gives you some other bonuses such as improved movement speed in public areas, 10% extra XP across the board, just a lot of other perks. And so a subscription model really makes sense if you're going to be playing this game a lot just for the experience. If you're going to be kind of playing a little bit here and there, uh, not as much, then you might want to consider the premium model. Uh, the premium model requires that you make a single purchase either in the DDO market or in the DDO store. So the way I have my video recorder, I can't show you the market here, but basically you could buy your expansions or you could buy point codes from the DDO market. And so depending on your budget, you know, there's various options. If you are looking, if if you have like say around $35, I don't know the price point of the new expansion, but typically when a new expansion comes out, it's not available for points for roughly 6 months, 6 months, 3 to 6 months later. And I think the trend has been 6 months. So that means that when the new expansion comes out in a month or so, I'm not going to be able to play it for 6 months, and that's okay. I might actually buy it for cash, uh, except it's not the raids. The trend of the raids has been not very new player or casual friendly. So unless you're in a sort of like a raiding guild or a hardcore raiding group, you're probably not going to be able to run the new raids right away, anyways. So too hot to handle. I tried to get into a group, told them that I was the first lifer, but knew what to do, and they wouldn't allow me in the group. So I think it's pretty tough to get into the newer raids with the way the developers have decided to make it more of a challenge, even on normal difficulty. So the raid, too hot to handle on normal difficulty, a lot of groups are failing, even though they could run quests on Reaper normally. So it's just the direction the developers have gone. I have no real issue with it, but it just means that probably purchasing the package for cash doesn't make sense to me because I won't really have the opportunity to run the raid anyways. Uh, but if you want to run that new raid or you want to get that latest and greatest gear, then one purchase you might want to make is the Feywild expansion, which will be available in the next month or so if you're watching this video around the time this is being recorded. If later, if there's an expansion coming out, you might want to wait and consider buying that expansion or one of the old expansions. But generally, from a value perspective, it's cheaper to buy the expansions with points, and if you want to spend money, you could buy the points. Right now, there's a point sale going on, so it's really a good time to buy points. Normally, the store comes up a little faster for me than this. It's just a little bit slow for some reason today. In fact, something seems wrong, so I'm just going to close it and then try again. All right, so it's coming up a little bit slower. That's okay. We will just wait it out. And the reason I'm kind of going over this store purchase is there's three things you get for upgrading from free to play to premium. The first and probably biggest item that you want to consider while TRing is that your platinum limit goes away. So currently my platinum limit is the same as a VIP or premium at level 30. But when I TR back to level 1, my limit's going to be 1500 and then it's going to double every level. So 1500 gold at level 1 or platinum rather, 3000 at level 2, 6000 at level 3, etc. And so when I TR back to level 1, I'm just going to lose all this platinum if I don't do something with it first. And so you effectively have to start out each life with no platinum if you do that. If you upgrade to premium, you that platinum limitation goes away. So you immediately don't have to worry about that platinum limitation. The second thing is I'm currently limited as a free-to-play player to one auction per day, and there's many times I ended up selling some good items to the vendor because I knew there's no way I was going to get a chance to sell that item, and I had inventory uh, issues, too many things to save, so I would just sell the best item I had that day, and then everything else would go to a vendor. And that issue immediately goes away once you upgrade to premium. You get up to 50 auctions a day, and so you'll be able to sell your best items as opposed to having to sell some to a vendor. And the third thing you get is Monster Manual 1. I'm try to see if I can hit something like refresh here. Nope. All right, looks like it finally came up. I'm going to click on DDO points, and you can. So there's a sale right now. It says double bonus points, and normally you get some bonus points, and so normally you would get like say I guess 100 bonus points with this, and now it's double, so it's 200, so you get 700. So if you want to do the absolute cheapest uh, purchase possible, this would be it, and this would get you to premium. So $8 would get you premium forever. Now the one of the perks of premium is you get customer service when you make a purchase based on the dollar amount you spend. So you wouldn't have access to customer service very long with this purchase, but you would be premium forever. And 700 points isn't going to go very far. So but if you're budget constrained, but you could make a one-time $8 purchase to get to premium, it's worth considering just to get rid of the platinum limit, the auction house limit, and then to get Monster Manual 1 for free, which could earn you up to 500 points or so. If you have a little more to spend, each of these tiers goes up, and obviously, if you spend, one-time $200 purchase, you'll probably never need to spend another dollar again. You'll be able to buy, especially if you wait for things to go on sale, like all the classes and races, you'll be able to buy all the classes and races and expansions going forward. But with the expansions, you'll be 6 months late on those. Uh, if you're looking for sort of like a kind of a reasonable middle ground price, price point, I would say either the $35 or $60 price point, if you can afford it, would be good to consider. This $60 price point would get you 8850 points, and so you'd be able to buy. The math behind this one is you'd be able to buy both expansions, the Ravenloft and Sharn expansions, for 5,000 points. That leaves you with 3,850 points. And the reason why I think that price point makes sense is that they have this 10th anniversary free-to-play launch bundle, which gives you a bunch of neat things. It gives you a +8 Supreme Tome, so +8 to all your stats, a Heart of Blood, which is equivalent of 20 tokens of the 12, uh, and a shared bank upgrade. So you get all those things for less than the cost of what a tome would normally cost. It's only available one per account, so you could use it one time. But if you buy those points, you'll be able to buy both the expansions plus you'll be a couple hundred points short of this. So with points you've earned, you'd be able to get those three things, which I think would be a great $60 spend if you can afford it. With 35, it would get you the if you kick in 900 more of your own points with the sale, you'd be able to get both of the expansions for 5,000. So you can buy the expansions from the DDO marketplace, but they're about $35 each. So it would be a little more expensive to buy them for straight up cash versus buying the points and buying the packs for cash. But you do get some other perks and benefits with the packs. You can go to the DDO marketplace and look at those. But you do get some other benefits that you don't get with the store purchase with points and buying the two expansions with DDO points for 5,000. And then the last thing to consider, I think, would be just buying the Feywild expansion when it comes out, but you'll have to wait a couple weeks. I think it should be available for purchase within the next couple of weeks. And if you do that, you won't have to wait 6 months to play that new content. Uh, but like I said, just go into it with your eyes open, knowing that lately the devs have been scaling the raids up super difficult, so that most people in the game are not able to run or get into those raids. Uh, One of the raids is a little easier in Sharn. The other one is very difficult, but even the easier raid just doesn't have the level of participation that some of the older raids have. And so, yeah, as a new player, you probably won't get a role in those raids. Uh, but you'll be able to find groups where you can participate and join in. But those are your options, and I think if you could swing the $60 purchase, that would be a really good price point. If you have a lot of extra discretionary money, you buy this $200 price point, you're probably you know good for a very long time, if not forever. And um, if you plan to play a lot, consider the subscriptions. $100 for a year. If you want to try it out for a month or 3 months, you could try it out for a lower cost. And if you try the 1 month subscription, that would also give you permanent upgrade to premium once that expires. And so that's it. So, my plan is I do have an account that is VIP, uh, and I plan to keep this account free to play permanently, just so that I have all the free to play limitations, and that actually adds some fun to the game for me. Those limitations. So I'm going to keep this free to play, and I'm going to run so that when I run the complete the videos that I didn't get this life in the future, everything will be with full free to play limitations. All right, so that's it for the hearts. I'm going to pause it while I go over to the House Beneath vendor. So some of the favor unlocks are permanent, such as, I earned Artificer from House Kingdom Favor, so I'll have that forever even after I TR. But access to the vendors is something that you have to re-earn each life. So currently I have access to this House Beneath vendor. I can buy everything that he has available because I have both tiers of favor. And there is no, I've run all the quests, so there is no higher level tier of favor that I'm missing. It's just not available yet. It might be in the future. And so, two things there is he sells better quivers than you can get the through the regular vendor. So you want to make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom, and if you haven't already purchased these, it's good to have one large thin, which could hold three different types of arrows, 1,000 arrows. And notice there's no minimum level on this, so you could use this right at level 1. I also like this one, especially at lower levels, because you tend to not need very many arrows at lower levels, but you accumulate a lot. So and that's before you have your coin lord's favor and such to get more inventory space. So I'll be back down to basically three tabs of inventory instead of two once I get back to level 1. And so I purchased these, and at low levels I'll use this wide quiver, which holds 10 different arrows. And what that does is when you get an arrow out of your chest, it'll go to this quiver rather than going in your inventory. So it's a way, plus that you can go in your quiver spot, so it doesn't take up any inventory spots at all. So it's definitely good to have two of these quivers. You may have deleted one after you earned, if you earned a quiver in game, such as this. I earned a quiver of poison, which has the same carrying capacity, but also does damage on ranged attacks. So this is a better quiver, so I've been using this, but I'm going to keep this quiver, the large wide and the large thin, for level 1, because at level 1 I don't have, I can't use that quiver yet. So, and the other thing you want to do is just make sure they're filled up. So this quiver is filled up with the maximum 1,000 Deneth sturdy arrows. This one is filled up with, actually this is just, I'll probably clear this one out actually, or clear some of it out. And then this is the large thin quiver. I put in Deneth sturdy arrows, +3 Deneth Deneth sturdy arrow, and then a +3 Deneth arrow. So I've got plenty of arrows. And the reason I like these sturdy arrows is they have a, you can see it better over here. They have a, wrong one, let me find it. They have a 75% return chance. So that means for every 4 arrows you're shooting, on average, you're only using one. And that's pretty nice to have because running out of arrows is, could be pretty common otherwise. So yeah, even though I have 1,000 arrows of each of these arrows, it's like the equivalent of 4,000 because they're the returning arrows. All right, so I'm gonna pause it while I make my next stop over in House Caneth. And as a reminder, the House Caneth vendor is up high, so you have to take that lift that you can see in the background to get up here. And I'm going to grab some success boosters for next life because I won't have access to this until I get my House Caneth favor, which will be around level 20. So just in case I decide to do crafting before then, I'm going to grab, I guess, about 500 of these. They're not very expensive, 4,500. I can only buy them in stacks of 100, so I'll just buy them 100 at a time. And then I bought some of these already, but I'm going to buy a couple hundred more just because they stack in the bag, and I have a bigger bag now than I had last time. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple hundred more of these. And that's about it for House Caneth. I mean, the main thing here is that you won't have access to this vendor until you're probably around level 20 in the future, so you just want to make sure you have what you need. I'm not going to buy the potion, the crafting elixir, because it's only 10% and I can get a better potion available from my Keeneth crafting tutorial next life, and you only need one. If you do it like I did this life where you do one big batch of crafting, you only need one potion per life. So that's what I'm going to do next time around. I'm going to pause it while I go over to the auction house. So the reason I'm checking out the auction house is that I have 400 or 391,000 platinum now, which isn't very much in the grand scheme of things. Part of the reason why, I need to, let me get my bag reset to auto gather. All right, so which isn't all that much. I've been, spending a lot of plat along the way, and then I've been breaking down all my items for essences, and instead of selling it for plat, I'd have a much higher balance if I was selling my items to a vendor, because the higher level items sell for more, and then because my charisma score goes up with my gear, I have a better haggle skill on top of that. But I have a 390,000 platinum, which I have to offload before I reincarnate. I've leveled up two of my banking characters. I leveled up one character to level 9. He could hold 320,000 platinum, and I leveled up another character to level 6, and that character can hold I believe 40,000 platinum. I'll have to double check on that. So between the two of them, they can hold 360,000. I'm gonna, for my reincarnate video, I'm gonna leave 10,000 in here just so you can see what happens when you reincarnate, and you lose the excess over 1,500. And so, but I'm going to check out the auction house because I have some extra plat. And I'm going to take a look at augments. And there's not much here. It's really hit or miss. So what I found is that uh, you know, oftentimes you'll find lots of augments in here, and typically that's probably one or two vets that are clearing inventory out, trying to get rid of things they don't need. And I've seen that several times where I've seen 40, 50 augments in the auction house, and then other times there's next to nothing. And same with filigree. And filigree, I mean, I'm surprised I see these for 10,000. I did buy some uh, at a high price previously, like some of these Zephyr ones. They're um, very useful for a first life character because they get you can get the knockdown immunity and freedom of movement, which is hard to get on a first life character otherwise. So but you can see people are want a lot for them. But if there's something you need, go ahead and grab it by all means. Here you can even get some rare ones, but they're very very expensive on the Plaid auction house. And I have some things I could probably sell on here, but since I have this issue of having to offload my platinum anyways, I didn't really see the point in selling things. I'd rather keep things that go in bags than keep things that keep platinum. So nothing really here in the price range on augments. You can take a look also at ingredients. Uh, Soul gems are good for crafting, but you have to make sure you get the right ones. They don't take the weak; they take the regular soul gems. So you want to see soul gems of just undead, not weak or strong. Those are useless for crafting. And then we'll take a look at collectibles. Nothing at all. So normally I see collectibles in here, but they're I'd consider them overpriced. But at the same time, if you have extra plat, it's something to do. You can take a look at tomes. Tomes are generally going to be pretty expensive. Um, +2 to +3. Skill tome. I could get a +3 skill tome from eventually. I'll get all of them from running sagas, so I don't need to worry about that. If you like pets, sometimes they have them in here, pretty expensive. And I think that's about it. You could look at wands and potions and such, but I think I got a lot of good wands. The ones I wanted, I plenty dropped. For example, the level 11 energy resist, level 7 energy resist. I have plenty of those now that dropped for me along the way. Scrolls, you probably want to look for like Dimension Door. It used to be a very rare scroll, but it's not as rare now because people that are VIPs get it with their gold rolls. And some people bought a VIP status upgrade that gives them a gold roll every day. So um, they are not that rare anymore. So nothing real interesting there on scrolls, but usually you can check potions. I mean, things like potions of invisibility. I'll usually pick up if they're cheap and not this cheap. I mean, I'll even pick them up for 1,000 each if I see them. So here's one for 10,000. That's a little more expensive than I'd like. Um, I think the value of plat has gone down and the value of these potions have gone up because I used to be able to get those for 250, 300 once upon a time. And then some of these greater heroes and potions are nice. You could use them at low levels. But I think I'm going to pass on these. And right next to this harbor auction house, between here and the guild ship, is this airship showroom. So my guild doesn't really need anything currently. I mean, they might in the future as new things come out, but I don't know if new things are going to even come out anytime soon. But they have an option here. If your guild is still working on getting all the items, uh, you could see that we have our guild has a shard balance of 911. I think sometimes people just put them in if it, platinum balance of 300,000. Uh, And so if I wanted to, I could just put, like, say, another 50,000 platinum in here. I'm going to do that because really don't need that platinum anyways. And that's another thing you could do with your extra platinum, especially if your guild needs items. I don't think we need any items. I'm just putting it there in case something ever comes up that we need. And so that gets me down to about 340, and so now I'll have enough to uh, basically offload my platinum to my bank characters. So I'm going to pause it. Oh, and one last thing you could do. These potions are pretty pricey, but if you have a lot of extra plat, you could stock up on these Yugoloth potions. I'm going to pause it while I go. Well, actually, you just go to the vendor in the Yugoloth potions, and I believe these are around, yeah, 50,000 base value for 100, so they're pretty expensive. But if you have extra plat, getting some of these potions of strength, which gives you 15 minutes of +2 stat, could be useful. You can just grab a stack of 100 or 200 of those. They don't take up much space, and they'll give you what you need. I'm going to pause it while I go over to the bank, and then trade to my bank character. All right, so this is my banking character. He is currently level 9. He's a rogue, and that cool-looking staff that he's holding is a bludgeoning bankroll, which is something that dropped for me while I was leveling up. And what I did is oftentimes they'll have these grouping bonus weekends, and it's very easy to find groups. So what I did is on one of those bonus weekends where they had the group XP bonus, I just joined a group and ran elite up to level 9 and then stopped. And that lets he's able to hold 320,000 platinum now. So what I'm going to do, he has about 14,000 already, so I'm just going to give him 300,000. And then just on the other account, I'm going to accept it, and then that brings it over. So now I'm down to 40,000, and my other bank character can hold 40,000. I'm going to pause it while I bring that other character up. And this character, I've leveled up to 6. So he's able to hold 40,000. So I'm going to trade him. Let me see. Maybe he already has some. So I'm going to give him 25,000. And that leaves me with about 16,000 platinum, which I'm okay with losing. When I do my TR, I'm gonna keep this platinum in here, and we'll watch it disappear when I go back to 1. Uh, I'm, I believe this is gonna happen when I do my epic TR, but I'll see. So I've never done this before. So when I did my lesser, I don't believe I lost platinum. So I may not actually lose that platinum until I finish my TR. In other words, there might be an exemption in the Reincarnation Grove, uh, because I don't recall losing any platinum when I did my lesser TR, and I definitely had more than 1250 plat. So that is it. I think I'm ready to TR. Uh, you know, Again, consider purchases that would make that platinum limit go away. But if not, you could either level up a banking character. You could have a friend hold it for you. If you have a friend that's premium or VIP, you could just ask them to hold the plat for you, or until you get to a higher level. There's a lot of ways you can work around the problem. And that's it. So the TR video I'm going to break up into a couple videos. The first one's going to be the Reincarnation Grove, and then the next video will be the actual leveling back up to 20 for the Epic TR, and then the Heroic TR would also be broken up into 2. And that is because when I exit out, which I'll show you here, the video kind of stops, or it actually crashes on me. But I can go back to this first screen here. But once I leave this screen, I'm out of the client, and I can no longer record with the software methodology I'm currently using. So I'll have to, and furthermore, I could actually go and reincarnate right back in, but I've heard some sort of horror stories when people do that, so I'll probably exit out all the way and then come back in and reincarnate. So that's it. That's the preparation for reincarnating, and the next videos will be the actual reincarnations.